The Republican Party is supposed to be, the Constitution, limited government, right? That's what we're supposed to be. It's what you want. It's what I want. Government has only grown for 100 years. It has never shrunk. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're watching if you're watching me right now on the first TV on I'm Right, you've never had the government shrink in your lifetime. In fact, you could make an argument on a national level. You've never had a political win. Now, you might be saying, well, we just had Trump. What do you mean? Yes, I understand we've won an election. We've won several elections. Democrats are crazy. People get tired of them. We'll vote in a Republican. What really changes? What have we taken away from them? I understand we win elections and all of a sudden we slow them down or sometimes even temporarily stop them from taking things from us. What have we taken from them? Which of your rights have you gained more of? Name me one Republican nationally today, as an example, who's openly talking about the fact you should be allowed to have fully automatic weapons, and you should. Is there one? You don't see it, right? You've never seen it. What you see is, they can't take this. No, you can't do this. Because you and me, we have developed, through no fault of our own, a losing mentality, because that's all we've ever known. All we've ever known is this. Point to something terrible Democrats are doing, say something like, that's hypocrisy, that's wrong, oh, we can't. All we've ever known is pointing to them doing something while we do nothing and whining about it. That's it. And so, because that has been our state of mind, that's the culture I've grown up in, you've grown up in on the right, it has seeped into every part of it, and now we prefer it. Not you personally, I'm not talking about you personally. As a party, nationally, the right actually has gotten to the point where they prefer to lose. They don't want to make big gains. They don't want to take back your liberty. They don't want to take on the communists. They want to lose and then whine about it. That's because that's all they've ever known. That's what, if you're on the right, that's what you've been taught your entire life. That's what being on the right is. Lose, but complain. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because of this. I believe we are on the verge of two things happening, and they're both wonderful. One, we are on the verge of massive election wins in 2022. And I'm not talking about the House and the Senate. Yes, I think we're going to have big election wins there. That's fine. Good for them. Good. Look, it's better than having the Democrats in charge, right? But top to bottom, Democrats are about to be slaughtered in this election cycle in a way that you've probably never seen, that I've never seen in my lifetime. School boards, city councils, board of supervisors, DAs, state legislatures, we are going to see an election massacre on a scale that we have never seen before. That's one, that's a very good thing. And two, we have a new mentality, probably your mentality, emerging on the right, beginning to emerge, I probably should say. The new right, we talk about it all the time. You see it right there on the screen. The new right, aggressive, anti-communist, playing offense. And these people are beginning to rise, which is great. But here is the problem. As we have this new aggressive strain of the right rising, and then we're going to have the power to do things, the communists are not going to be our biggest enemy. The old right, and frankly, the losing mentality will be our biggest enemy. Because you and me, we've been taught our entire lives to complain about what they're doing, and then at the mere suggestion of us actually doing something with the power we gain, we're taught to say, no, that wouldn't be right. That's against our principles. You hear that word all the time. It would be against our principles. That's not who we are. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you said that? That losing mentality is going to kill us if we don't get rid of it. We must develop a winning mentality. Now, a great example of this is what's happening in Florida as we speak right now, and on multiple levels, actually. You see, Florida passed the bill. You remember the bill. They passed this bill, and the bill simply said, don't talk about sex to kindergartners. It was K through 3 or something like that, pre-K through 3, don't talk about sex to kindergartners. The left, mainly in Florida, freaked out about it. And person after person after person, I don't know what they are, men or women, because you can't tell anymore, people who teach children in Florida begin to put out videos online complaining that they weren't allowed to talk to your kindergartner about chopping his penis off. This account, Libs of TikTok on Twitter, wonderful account, God bless this human being, decided to start exposing these. Well, that has the left so petrified that these videos have been exposed, that you've seen them right here on the show, that as the left so petrified, they're now going after this person and their family members. Remember that whole story about the Washington Post from yesterday? That is wonderful. They're on their heels. So what is the temptation for the right, for the old right, the loser mentality? Hey, let's back off. We don't need to push it. Let's back off. Let me ask you something. When you see this video of this monster who was talking about relationships with children, and you find out that once Libs of TikTok exposed this video, this person lost their job, does that make you happy or sad?
I use the term minor attracted person, or MAP, in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And MAP advocacy groups like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term MAP. They've advocated for it primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction.
I know. As soon as you're done vomiting, we can talk. You done? That person lost their job. Are you happy about that? If you are, you're part of the new right. If that makes you uncomfortable that we exposed that person, well, not we, it was Libs of TikTok and whatnot. If that makes you uncomfortable that the new right exposed that person and got that person fired, you have a loser mentality. And that's actually not me calling you a loser. I'm not trying to be mean right now. I'm trying to let you know mentalities are things that you learn over time, and you must let that go. We have the communists on their heels. They're on their heels in many different ways. Today, this is a great example of it. Today, Heavy D, Ron DeSantis in Florida, and the state Senate, they got together and they decided Disney, who has declared war on the Republican Party and Ron DeSantis ever since they told teachers they couldn't do this, they decided Disney, they shouldn't have this special tax exempt status that they've had since 1967. Well, here's Heavy D talking about it.
But I am announcing today that we are expanding the call of what they are going to be considering this week. And so, yes, they will be considering the congressional map, but they also will be considering termination of all special districts that were enacted in Florida prior to 1968, and that includes the Reedy Creek Improvement District.
Now, let me ask you the ultimate question. We all know what that was. Obviously, he's removing all the special districts, but we all know what that was. That was Heavy D and the Republican Florida State Legislature declaring war on Disney after Disney declared war on them, attacking their bottom line. How do you feel about that? You can be honest with me or yourself. You don't have to tell me. I'm not your dad. How do you feel about that? Does it make you uncomfortable to watch a state government attack a corporation? Maybe it does. You haven't been raised that way. That hasn't been your culture on the right. That hasn't been my culture on the right. But that's losing mentality.